appreciate you coming on, nephew. We always have a good time. We always uh, have a great show for the people. And so today ain't gonna be any different. We got some good surprises. It's Super Bowl Sunday saying what's up to everybody. Today is the 34th episode where we will celebrate Black History Month and upcoming Black authors. You hear me?
Oh, shoot.
Authors. So today we're gonna pay homage to my book, Elevate Your Game. We're gonna pay homage to Ladies and Vets, and also A Nightmare in My World, which is a children's book. So Vid, welcome to the show. Welcome to Sunday Brunch, WNBA State of Mind, where we mainly discuss basketball, but we love other sports and we love other topics. Today we have an all-star cast of ballers. We actually have a surprise for people, which makes for a great show. Thanks for joining us today, Vid. What's up? We got four unique folks in here today. You know what I'm saying? And I got my man surprising the people today right now. I'm gonna let my young guy, VA coming from Cali, but they call him VA man. He's gonna spit something for Black History Month for us. So go ahead and take it away for us, little brother.
Yeah, happy Black History Month to you guys and everybody watching. This is from a piece titled Believe in Yourself, and it's dedicated to all my Black brothers, fathers, sisters, and mothers. If you know just who you are, there ain't no way you can't love us. You beautiful and smart. They throw a lot of stuff your way, but you still here. That's because you stronger than you thought. Look how they copied all your music and art. Then tell us it's more that we gotta achieve. You see it yourself, so who you believe? They want you bummy below, bereaved. Don't alter your crown, girl, you was a queen. The things they do to us kings. Come up, get through in the bing, and still we believe. Sectioned off in the project, still we succeed. Left with no options, we ball and we sing. You gotta believe in all of your dreams. The God and the goddess, the ultimate team. They know that you got it. It's hard to believe. The chopper can't stop it. It's all in your genes. The best all your profits. Ah, man, I messed it up, man. See, man, my bad, y'all. My
Good, you
bad.
keep rolling. You did this at the last minute, and you was rolling. So you go ahead and you pick up right where you came from.
All right, let me run this back, man. Black brothers, fathers, sisters, and mothers. If you know just who you are, there ain't no way you can't love us. You beautiful and smart. They throw a lot of stuff your way, but you still here. That's because you stronger than you thought. Look how they copied all your music and art. Then tell us there's more that you gotta achieve. You see it yourself, so who you believe? They want you bummy below, bereaved. Don't alter your crown, girl. You was a queen. The things they do to us kings. Come up, get through in the bing, and still we believe. Sectioned off in the project, still we succeed. Left with no options, we ball and we sing. You gotta believe in all of your dreams. The God and the goddess, the ultimate team. They know that you got it. It's hard to believe. They try to can stop it. It's all in your genes. Just take all your profits, invest in your seeds. We gotta be each other's help. Protect our women and our legends. Time to focus on our health. It's time we focus on our wealth. And you ain't black if you ain't voting for yourself.
Uh, love it. I love it. Yes, that's V man coming from out of California, little nephew, and I tell you what, I appreciate you coming on, and doing that. And I know that you made that up especially for today, and so I appreciate that. And we're gonna give you the opportunity to do it again, and you get to spit your tracks that you have, just so somebody out there is looking for somebody, looking for a poet, and check you out and follow you on your network. So we're gonna definitely come back to you. I appreciate you coming on the show, though.
Appreciate it for sure. No problem.
Vid, we're gonna come back to you. We're gonna give us a big glimpse into where you are now, 'cause you do so many things. You're down there, you're coaching, but the biggest thing about you is your publishing company and getting these books out, and we on here today to pay homage to some of those books, and also drawing some other people that want to come on the team. So we're actually recruiting through these book reviews. So talk to us about what's going on and what's been happening down there in Florida.
Uh, just steady grinding, building the brands. You know, for Unique, for those that don't know, VA the man is my little cousin. Um, and so for Unique, just to give you a glimpse of how I started, when I was playing ball, I needed an outlet. So writing was my outlet, and decided to put out a book and have other publishing companies that wanted to uh, put the book out, but I just didn't want to, want them to have all my own, the ownership of my book. So I went the route of self-publishing, but the spirit just told me I could help other people get their voice out, tell their story the way they wanted to. And I took a play off of my son's name as well as Mike's brother's name, or VA the man's brother's name, Neek, the end of their name, Neek, Dominique. And also, I believe everyone's unique, so that's how we came up with For Unique Publishing. And yeah, so been a blessing. We still moving units and going to get deeper, but it's a company that you can be yourself and tell your story the way you want it to. It's for us. So that's where we at.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see, the books coming out, and for myself, having the podcast and the platform, deciding to use that and utilize that more to push my own things, my book, and also my brand as well. And so, you know, us having conversations behind the scenes and always looking for innovative ways to be creative on and off the court, being ODU alumni, that we are, we have that marketing and that business mind, from the 757. They don't even know. I need that. I need that. I need that. I need that bad right there. So with that being said, you know what I'm saying? We always talking about, I had somebody on the phone the other day, and they asked me something, and I was like, coming from the 757, they said, you know what? People, you can always tell who's from Virginia because they'll be like from the 757. That's how you identify DA. You like coming from the 757. It's always been that, before the 804, but that's done. They moved that to Richmond when they split it. So with that being said, representing on all levels and continuing to have our relationship, just having a conversation. We want to take a glimpse into some of these books, and also continue it on to have it be a series that we do on the podcast, talking about the books, talking about the new authors, talking about authors that are out there right now, prior to me, that I didn't know about. So, the first question I wanted to ask you is, and I'm going to, when I ask you this question, I gotta run and get my book. I left it at the back of the house. So I'm gonna run and grab that. Hopefully I don't have to run outside because yeah, it just started snowing on us again. It's crazy, but it's okay. It's what God has for us. It's keeping people in the house, so I'm not even mad at it right now. My first question is, how important it is for you for people to convey their story. You already touched upon it a little bit in your introduction, but how important it is for people to say what they want to say and not so much how somebody else wants them to depict themselves.
It's important to me because, again, we all are unique, but at the same time, uh, it's at least one person that could relate to us, and conveying our stories help others become, it inspires others to be who they are, and go through the situations, the adversities, and also the success that they may face or will face in life or whatnot. So, um, I always look at, you know, telling your story, your testimony, as they say in the churches, as a little manual, because if you see that somebody else went through a similar situation or had similar thoughts or whatnot, it encourages you to keep going on, and that you're not really you know uh what they say, what we call weird, or an outcast or anything like that. And honestly, being weird and being an outcast is nothing wrong with that. This means that you're moving at your own beat, hence for unique. um But yeah, that's why, you know, what's important to me about each person, no matter if it's 1,000 people read your book, 1,000,000 people read your book, or one person that reads your book, is important for me. I think people should write a book or write their thoughts down in some kind of way, shape, or form. Whether it's I specialize in books, but music, like cause VA the man and other forms of art. It's just important to convey our stories our way, you know, and no one can do it better than us, period. You know, who we are. Who's better to tell our story than the person that's going through it? You know what I mean? So that's why it's important to me to convey our story.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had to do exactly what I said I didn't want to do. I had to run outside and get the book out the car. I left it in the car, you know.
Oh, you
Oh,
still got that speed.
always got, you know what I'm saying, and come back and still look smooth, right? Like
Yeah, you got that speed.
you know what I'm saying? That's that being on the free throw line. Cool, you know what I'm saying? So look, you be cool under pressure. I tell people I can be cool under pressure. You know, I can make a decision in a millisecond. So, you know, that's one thing about athletes. You know, our minds are quick. You know, I'm gonna flip it to VA, man. Put you on the spot a little bit. I know that you spit poetry. You know, during these times right now, you being a youngin and everything like that. How important it is for you young guys to express yourselves right now through poetry, through your music, or through your brand?
I think that's like this said, I think that's super important. It's always important. Um, how uh how often are we really able to do that? I think that's a different story and maybe, entirely different thing, but it is important. It's super important for people to be able to voice themselves and to show up authentically, to show up as your authentic self. Um, I think that's super important, but it again, it's not something that's the norm. And so I don't think we get that opportunity at all. At all, really. I think that's a big challenge because for us to show up authentic, it has to be wherever we show up, that environment has to be laid out so that we feel comfortable to show up authentic. A lot of times that environment doesn't exist because it wasn't created by people that look like us. And then again, when we're all unique, that's a tough thing, you know. It's a tough thing to create an environment to make you feel authentic when we're each unique. And so that's something that I think as human beings, we just have to keep evolving to get to so that we're able to really do something like that in totality. But it is very important.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right. So, Vid, we're gonna flip it in a minute. We're gonna talk about some books, but you know, tell us the difference between For Unique Publishing and everybody else who's out there publishing. Like, what is it that you offer people that other
Look,
publishers don't?
total. I like to say freedom, but not just that, like ownership of your work. You know, when you sign with us, you're not going to sign over all your rights, you know. You get high, I like to say we give higher royalties, you know. I won't go into, well, actually, I will go into that. Most publishing companies, and we talking about the big traditional ones included, their authors, unless you're a big name and you're established, you're not getting anything higher than 5% royalties off of a book. That's just factual. You know, we do way more than that, as you can attest. But it's for for us, for me, when I was blessed to start, it's about owning our own. You know, a lot of times I look through history of anything, business in general, but the music industry and um, writings and everything that we've given up our publishing, our ownerships of our publishing away, you know, and I didn't want that because at the end of the day, if we're talking about generational wealth and control, we need to have ownership of our creativity. and it wouldn't be right. I didn't feel that it would be right for me and anything I represented to, take ownership of other people's creativity. And for instance, if we have a book that's, producer wants to make into a movie, it's not right for me or the company to automatically greenlight it without um, any word from the author, from the creator of that book. They might not want that to be a movie, or if or vice versa. It might be where a producer comes and wants some, and the company might feel like, nah, we don't want that. But if you as an author have ownership, is your, it's your masterpiece, it's your blood, sweat, and tears. And so that's what we do, and again, like I said before, is the difference is we're not looking for the next Harry Potter. You're not going to be penalized for not being the next, writing the next Harry Potter book, or that you wrote something similar without stealing anything, but similar in that. Because each publishing company has those niches that they either looking for the next Harry Potter, or if you're similar to it, I'm using Harry Potter, of course, but not to pick on Harry Potter series, but if you're similar to it, some publishers won't even put you out. You know what I mean? So it's that whole thing, and no, again, we all have our story, and it's, creativity, so that's the difference in my words.
Yeah, and I think that that's a great difference. You give people, control over their work, autonomy, and just allow them to be able to, be creative as they would like, you know, within, the morals and value standards. You know what I'm saying? And so, I really appreciate that concept, and that's a lot of reason why you and I got together with mine in the first place. And let's talk about ladies and vets. I thought that ladies and vets, it caught me from just from the cover. It's the guide for female, Corvette enthusiasts, and people don't really understand that there's women out there that like hot cars. I have a BMW. I love hot cars. I love fast cars. And so not necessarily meaning I'm gonna go fast. And when I was younger, in '97 when I had my first Beamer, like it was hot off the lot, Um, it was crazy. Yeah, I did get a lot of tickets, visiting from VA to New Jersey. Um, so, talk about that book and, the authors, Terry Marshall and June Bartlett. Talk about them a little bit.
All right. So for those that don't know, if I have the Kindle. Usually I have hard covers of everything. So hopefully I can see that cover that Adrian's talking about.
It's hot. It's hot. It's
Yeah.
six
So
great.
yeah, I love that cover. The artist did his thing on it. But yeah, when they came to me and the concept was great. Like they are the leading women in the Corvette enthusiast world. They go to shows, they put on shows and everything like that. But the book, I mean, is breaking down different barriers, right? Like you said, people don't even know that or take for granted that it's women enthusiasts in all genres, all industries, right? But like even me, I didn't never think that. When I usually see somebody in a with a Corvette, is usually a male, right? Well, this book explores into that. It breaks down the history of the Corvette. It breaks down how to take care of your Corvette, the products to get to take care of the Corvette, um, the different Corvette clubs, and the history, their history with being introduced to uh, Corvettes, which is very interesting, because for me, I always it's always interesting to see how someone became interested in something. You know, usually it's through a, like as a child or whatnot. And one of their stories was it wasn't till later in life that they just seen a Corvette and it was like, I like that, you know what I mean? And then when it got one, and then it just became a whole different thing. But out of that thing, they face different kind of discriminations, right? Oh, that's your husband's car. You know what I'm saying? Like things that's, again, we talk about privilege a lot. It is a male privilege. And so when, we think, especially a hot, fast car. Oh, that gotta be you driving your dude's car or whatnot.
Hmm.
So, that's the book is in 8 different phases. Like I said, their history, the Corvette history, the different kinds of Corvettes, the care, the clubs, all that. And it's a great read for everybody, anybody.
Hmm.
Whether you have a BMW or a Benz or whatever, it's a great read. It'll make you appreciate your car much more. You know.
Yeah, that's how, and there are a lot of women. I mean, you go, especially down south, especially in the ATL area, down in North Carolina, women really migrate to, NASCAR. And I saw a lot of muscle cars when I was down in the A with women driving them, so it's definitely a stereotype. And short story, it just happened last night. I was getting ready to run into Quick Check into the store, and I left my car running. I come out, um, open up the door, guys getting ready to come in, and I'm like, "What's up, fellas? How you doing?" And I get ready to, I hit the lock. Boop, boop. They was like, "Oh, that's your car?" So I was like, "Yeah, that's my car." They're like, "Oh, can we ride?" No, boy, bye. You know what I'm saying? But still, just that whole thing that you were just elaborating on, how people really, really um, do associate hot cars with, with guys. When there's a lot of women out here that have hot cars, and flipping the script,
Can I add something before you flip? I wanted
yeah,
to add this. Sorry, but we're gonna look at the cover again, right? Because not only when you see women in cars, what is the what's the image that we usually see, right? Like scandalous, models or whatnot, right? This cover, if everyone could see that,
see
look
them
at that
Jordans.
lady, right? That's a queen right there. You know what I mean? Like dress, you know what I mean? And the two authors, June and Terry, beautiful black queens, right? And the other thing with this book that I love, and that's the book is about, is breaking down the stereotypes, not just with men and women, but black women, and black men also, because again, when you think about, let's be real, when you're thinking about wealthier cars, who do you see? You know what I mean? Who do you usually picture driving it? When I say you, I mean most people. A lot of people think a wealthy white male. You know what I mean? Nah, this is why we celebrating these books. You know what I mean? Or for this month, but that's the other thing. I went into the Corvette dealership down the street down here, and I presented this book to them, and before it even came out, but the manuscript, and they loved it, and then they found out who was behind it. They were shocked. You know what I mean? Like again, it's breaking down barriers. And so like I said, this not just I'm glad they came to us, but this is a great book for anybody to read, pick up and read. So
Yeah,
that's my tidbit.
no, yeah, and the motivational aspect of it is just breaking down. barriers, breaking through the glass ceiling, which is something that we have to do as females, and then being African American. So we're constantly having to break through glass ceilings from finances all the way to products that we own. And so, taking it back to VA, um, how important is it for you to see uh, people that have come before you, like your cousin and like other artists? How important is it for you to be able to see that to help you in your journey as you move through life for yourself?
It's very important. I think having that inspiration and motivation carries an individual a long way. I know it definitely helps me. Um, so yeah, it's definitely good to see someone else taking that journey, taking that path, and leading the way, paving the way, so that it may make it easier for me to follow in those same type of footsteps. Or um, like me and my cousin, we already follow, along a similar path, and so with that, we're able to come together and share information, and just help each other and push each other in that aspect. So it's just a beautiful thing, no matter which way you look at it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I had a professor 3 years ago say to me, all you have to do is follow the breadcrumbs. There's enough breadcrumbs left for you as an African American female, as a female. There's enough things out here for you to model after. All you have to do is just follow after it. You got to read and you got to inform yourself and utilize the resources that are available to us. And as African Americans, we don't do that enough. And, so that's why we have types of shows that we have here on Sunday Brunch, really about enlightening minds. And I think we have somebody that popped up on the show just out of nowhere. All of a sudden, I saw all of this poofy, pretty, curly hair come into the scene. Okay, it must be Sophia.
Say hi. She's
What's
shy
up?
right now.
It's okay. Listen, I am so glad that you are going to come on and
You want
give
to talk
us
about
your opinion about this book that we're getting ready to talk about. So, thanks for coming on.
it? Thank you.
Listen, there's a book that's out right now, and it's called Nightmare in My World. And when I looked at the cover at first, I thought it was like, okay, somebody's having nightmares, trying to go to sleep and there's a monster. I thought it was the typical story. I didn't know that it was about math. So, what is it about? Like, I like the cover, everything about it. What was the book actually about, Sophia?
You want me to help you answer? You was excited earlier. All right, so that's the cover. Nightmare in My World, right?
Yeah, it's
Um,
cool.
you want to tell them what it's about? You want me to help you? She being shy. Sorry about that. She was so excited a little while ago. But yes,
Okay.
Nightmare in My World is a book by Nanny P. It deals with basically a girl. She's looking forward to what her parents call No School Saturday.
Okay.
So, in her excitement of No School Saturday, she wakes up, or you know, thinks she wakes up, and she is greeted by a math board, right?
Okay.
Instead of being greeted by her parents. And so this math board is trying to show her things, basically why math is important and used in everyday life. And yeah, can you tell us your favorite part of the? No, the rainbow? No.
The rainbow?
She's out. Well, so I'll speak for her. Um, yeah, so not just Sophia, the kids that have read this book, the feedback we've given, their one of their favorite parts is, of course, the whole idea of no school Saturday, you know.
Uh-huh.
But they fall in love with it because of I'll show you a few illustrations. The math board actually helps them. Oh, here she goes. The math board, that's the girl on the math board, helps Elia, uh, realize that math isn't scary, right? I don't want to tell all the story, but yeah. So, can you point to which picture is your favorite? That one. So this is her favorite. So that's her going back to sleep, and so we'll give another one. And so that's how it ends, right? And so, do you like this book? Yeah, she likes this book. Most kids like, well, I won't say most, all the kids that we've got feedback on and the parents loves this book because it's one of those things. It's not just for the kids, it's for the kids and parents. Math and learning is a scary subject, and it helps them to overcome their fear of, I mean, we know it's a lot of fear in this world, but as learning as a 6 year old, that's, you know, those are tough subjects, so
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And I love the illustrations. I love the fact that it's by an, African American author. And it's just a good book, and that's probably why she loves it so much because she can identify with the characters that are in that book. And what was the author on that one too?
Nanny P.
Nanny P. Yeah, and
Yes.
that's really catchy as well. So, I used to do a lot of stuff with the WNBA and the Read to Achieve, and every time I did the Read to Achieve, I got the opportunity to take books, and I would always get the books that were written by African American um, authors and had great illustrations. So I have a really nice collection of books. Thanks to the WNBA for allowing me to do the Read to Achieve. And I really honestly and truly do believe that reading is fundamental, and all of the things that we grew up on. It's just so important to allow your kid to expand their mind and not necessarily have them read the books that you want them to read, but the books that'll bring out their creativity. Because, you know, um, of course, your parents are going to want you to read certain books and, be on a higher level of consciousness. But, it's always good to allow your kids to get a good old-fashioned uh, Marvel comic and sift through those pages because there's a lot of creativity. And I know that I did it when I was younger. And, it really led to all of the things that I do creatively on the internet because now the internet allows you to bring out that creativity in so many ways. And so, how many children authors do you have?
Uh, Four. So this is I was gonna, and this is breaking for on your show. We are doing an imprint um, under for Unique Publishing for a children's book line called Sophia Lynn after Sophia. So that's the next thing coming. So we have actually we have another children's book dropping February 26th uh, by another it's an African American uh, mother who co-authors it with her daughter. I believe her daughter is 11 now, and so that's neat. Um, Deja Donut Girl is a neat book. But can I read? Sophia wanted to read this, but she got shy. So can I read the
Okay.
back end to it?
Yes, please do. Please
All right,
do.
sorry. So it was the morning of no school Saturday, and all Elia wanted. was to see the surprise that her mom and dad had for her. Elia waits to find math board. Surprise, but math board was not the treat Elia expected. But math board has a special treat for Elia. Come along with Elia as math board takes her on a journey to a treat that will last a lifetime. Roses are red, violet are blue. Math board has a special treat for you too. Did I do it good? All right, she gives me a thumbs up.
You creep in as when you started reading it, and I loved reading the kids, and they're just so attentive, and they love being read too. And so, if you're out there and you're looking for a good book to read to your kids, to your grandkids, to your nieces and your nephews, go out and get A Nightmare in My World. Show that again. Show the cover on that one again, Vid. Yeah, I like that. And the illustrations are absolutely incredible on that. And it'll help your child deal with being intimidated by, we all were. I know I was. It was a bear for me until I got to college. And then finally, I just really, all I wanted to know was how to count that money. I was good enough with that, you know? And so, moving on to the next book, of course, I got to put it up. That's me. Can you see it?
Put it higher. Put
Put
it
it
higher.
up.
Yeah, there we go. There you go. There you go.
Absolutely. And so, this, you were always hitting me up about, putting my words into a written form, and actually I had it all done, and for me, I didn't want to write like this 200, 300, 400, 500 page book. I just really wanted to give a blurb into different chapters into my life, and then eventually when I get in my 60s, late 60s and 70s, I'm not, ready to sit back, and let somebody write the autobiography. There'll already be some literature out there already on the different chapters that I'll discuss, because each chapter is just a little blurb into what an autobiography would look like with the book, and elevate your game from athlete to a corporate world. Was just basically talking about my childhood and some of the struggles that I had to deal with growing up through different phases of my life, but continuing to press on to ultimately get to my dream. And I think as kids, excuse me, as a matter of fact, I know as kids, we get caught up in believing that life is going to unfold in a certain manner. And once we get older and we get out of our parents' house, that life is going to be easier. And that's the biggest fantasy that I think we believe as kids. And so, with that being said, I don't know why I got a tickle in my throat. Excuse me. With that being said, I really appreciated writing this book because it gave me the opportunity to look back how far I've come, analyze that, and see how much further I have to go. And so, with you always saying, Adrian, write the book, write your book, I want to write your book, it's inspiring me in that way. I appreciate it. So, with writing it, you wrote the foreword, and it's funny because you know as I read it, I remembered that moment vividly. If you don't mind, I'd like to read it.
Go for it.
Foreword by Vid Lamonte, Bugs Jr. I walked on the court for the first time at Old Dominion University. Noon ball. Kevin Swan and Adrian Goodson greeted me with a cold stare. I didn't mind because I carried a chip the size of the world on my shoulder. I felt that I have been slighted by my family, friends, basketball team, and coaches. I was used to destroying anyone who got in my way on a basketball court. To me, destroying these two people would later become my mentors. Wouldn't be any different. And we did become your mentors. That meeting on the basketball would change everything for me. I remember driving past Swan and Adrian's mega team at will. As I would soon come to know Adrian, at, that Swan said that kid could play. I knew I earned her respect when she said that, but Goody had a special lesson for me. The next time I drove and made my way to the basket, she gave me a hard foul and looked at me and said, "Nothing is easy here, kid." Every time I would see Goody, she would always give me advice in life, basketball, and how to be a professional. The grudge I carried around was affecting everything that I was around. One day, while Kevin Swan, Adrian, and I were shooting around, Adrian says to me, "Cornbread," because that's what I called you, "no one will realize how talented and smart you are because you have a piss poor attitude. No one wants to be around you, and you're actually a good kid." Swan chimed in with his advice on how to be a leader. This was an eye-opening experience, and I needed their advice. And it goes on and on about how I helped, you know, guide you in, in your walks in life as an athlete, a motivational speaker, and lifetime influencer, and an entrepreneur. And when she shared her story and her idea of her book, I knew that it would help others to step up their game in life, the same way her words and actions have helped turn my life around. A lot of times we don't see what a person has been through. We only see that person's success. We all have a mission. Elevate Your Game shows us all how to push through our challenges and how to embrace our success. Despite the journey, we must step up our game to become who we are destined to be. That's a tight forward.
It's truth. I mean, hey, you are the cornerstone of this company, you know. Um, just being, 100, you know what I mean? Like at that time it wasn't you and Swan took me under y'all wings and y'all seen something in me which I knew, but I was so pissed off at the world that, it I was clouded, you know what I mean? So who knows that anger, that rage where that would have led me if it wasn't for y'all and what you what you told me. You know what I mean? Like, cause and cuz can we got a loving family. Don't get it twisted, but we show a lot of times we show love in a different way, at least back then, in a different way. So it wasn't I really didn't have people like to notice like, yo, you smart, you're talented, you intelligent, you're talented. It's more than just that. To steer you on a path. And we all had that story of coming from the 757 and making it out or whatever. We have a chip, automatically chip on our shoulders and whatnot. So yeah, and that's when I took writing more serious, like far as my outlet. Putting my anger on paper. And so yeah, you are a cornerstone of this what where we at now. So I thank you for that.
And I appreciate you back. Talk to us about social media outlets that you're on. How people can find the website, find the books uh, that we're talking about, and we'll also talk about some books that are coming out.
Okay. Um, I have a couple questions for you later. So
Okay.
I'll talk about where we at. Anybody, www dot 4 dash u dash nique. That's NIQUE publishing.com, where you find us at all the information you need, submissions, everything up there on the books. Our books are everywhere. Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, Walmart, Books a Million, uh, small town, small retailers, even libraries. Social media for Unique Publishing on Instagram, Twitter, as well as Facebook. Also have a Pinterest page for Unique Publishing. So and LinkedIn. So we're trying to be everywhere. We're going to do our best to be everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what it's really all about, getting your content out there, and that's why I push so hard to make sure that the podcast is on every podcast, on every platform, and moving around and thinking Instagram Live is hot for me. Instagram is hot, and I want to stay on Facebook Live too. So, but Instagram is definitely calling me. We put the I put the same, listen, I kid you not, I put the same story up. I put the story up on Facebook, get 40, 50 people by the time I get ready to do the show. I put it up on Reels on Instagram, and it like 3,000 people already hit it. So there's a different exposure, and and one thing I find to be intriguing is, when you can have a brand and it could be hot across genres and it can be hot across generations, and so that's my goal and my focus is to be hot with the youngins out there, you know what I'm saying? And get into the minds of the 18 through 24-year-olds heads. And then, I'll be satisfied with that, because the content is mainly meant for them, because I want to inspire them to be better than who they are and what they're told that they can and cannot be. So with that being said, I know you said you wanted to ask me a couple of questions.
Okay, so I want to go back to your book. Um, how was your writing process? Everyone have a different writing process. So I would just want to, ask you yours.
Yeah, well, for me, I'm always motivated by, something to sip on, whether it's a nice glass of wine or, a hot cup of coffee. My environment is always going to be jazz and Paul Hardcastle. And, I was always I was always good about writing in my journal, especially when I was overseas, and, you have that downtime, and, everything is different. People, you can't just go and I couldn't just go and turn on TV and I would have cable television. It wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? I had to go get movies from from the movie joint in order to see stuff, and it would have subtitles on it. So there was a lot of time. Even just faxing, internet was like didn't even boom until 2000. 2001, maybe 2002, it started to pick up some, where, I was learning the different techniques to, how to keep up with stuff. So it left a lot of time for me to write. And so I was, when I was in Brazil, I spent a lot of time in Piracicaba when I was writing, and writing in my journal. In Campinas, I was writing in my journal. Aracatuba, I was writing in my journal. When I was in Rio de Janeiro, I was writing in my journal. So I kept little blurbs of things that I might forget, because your mind is going to capture it all, but it needs something to trigger that thought. And so I would write in my journal so I could go back to it. So it wasn't really a difficult process for me to write because I already had the content there. It was just about transferring it into Word. And, from the paper, I actually had written, some of it was in pencil. I'm surprised it didn't disappear, so thank God for the type of lead they use in Brazil. But you feel, and so, my process is always going to be, like I said, smooth jazz, um, something to sip on, and just some valuable notes that I took, from somewhere.
Okay. And then so I mean we got a little beef with the company that's not gonna be named. You know what I'm talking about. But how was it to feel? How did it feel to be when your book was on a said list, said company's list of the hot release, and then a bestseller on it? How did it feel when you saw those rankings?
Oh
I mean,
my
it was
goodness.
ahead of it was right behind Steph Curry's book that just came
Yeah,
out, right? And
yeah,
ahead of the late great Pat Summitt.
yeah, yeah.
How did
And
that feel?
Kobe's book too. And so
Uh,
I was looking at that and I was like, wow, and it's really not a lot of content. It's not a lot of content, but it's it's the essence of that content, and because my father was like, it doesn't have a lot of pages, but it's the content within those pages and the message that you can convey within the amount of pages that you have. And so, and you had mentioned something like that too. And so it was like, I was just like, whoa, and I made sure I snapped pictures and just like, I'm like, wow, I'm up here with these guys who are, making millions and, are popular. So, much respect to Adrienne Goodson and the work that she put in for her, playing ball because people remember it 20 years later.
for
It's
sure.
been higher since 2006, 2007. So, I mean, people remember. I would love to see more content that the WNBA websites will push with, getting us out there and not just certain players, you know what I mean? Not to even call people out because I love seeing content just when they go back to the retirement, but really put it out there. I'd love to see some Utah Stars content out there when I was balling, San Antonio when I was balling. I have all of that stuff, so I'm gonna start posting those things up myself, so people can see what I want to see. So yeah, I mean, just to be in the company of those people, it just lets you know that you're on the right track.
Good. And I'll say this for your book is like you said, it's going through your life, but it's really a journey from transitioning, well, going through being a great and transitioning, which all of us have to do sometime in life, transitioning from something and you've been doing all your life to this, let's call it semi-foreign world, which is the corporate world. Um, and that message and everything you're dealing with, have dealt with, is very inspiring and aspiring and inspiring, you know, for me as a black male, right? So I know other women in general, and black women definitely, uh, when they read the book, is going to definitely get something. Oh, she's not shy now. But yeah, so I'll speak for you because you're humble. You're humble. You're very humble. It's a great book. It was bestseller. They're not going to take that from you ever. Um, but yeah, so we're going to do major things with that also.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's room for greatness. Uh, these are this time of the year is busy times, coaching. Um, the podcast really does require a lot. Um, and taking a class, my class is over in 2 weeks, and so thank God. So I can like really focus on my podcast again, but at the same time, I can't wait to get the cert either. I'm real excited, just learning some really, really great things. I'm not even talking about that. But probably one of the toughest things that I've ever had to do, ever crossed, that I volunteered to do. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when, you get a free class offered to you, I mean, I'm always down and down with anything that the WNBA, the NBA would shift my way that will help me as far as my career is concerned. And so, this one is probably the toughest one that I've ever passed through. Um, but in 2 weeks it's gonna be good because I'm gonna be holding the crown on that one too. So, but bottom line is yes, definitely black women in business, black women in data science. But it's it's just great to have the opportunity to sit and talk with you. And you're listening to a WNBA State of Mind Sunday brunch. I got my man Vid Vid Lamonte Jr. on here with from For Unique Publishing. Also got my man VA in the house, and he is going to bless us on our way out from this show. He gonna spit another track for us.
Most definitely. Let me run this one back for y'all, man. This is a poem titled, or a piece titled, Believe in Yourself. Um, for all brothers and sisters who look like me and you, and inspire you to believe in yourself. Black brothers, fathers, sisters, and mothers. If you know just who you are, there ain't no way you can't lose. And smart. You throw a lot of stuff your way, but you still here. That's because you're stronger than you thought. Look how they copied all your music and art and tell us there's more that we gotta achieve. You see it yourself, so who you believe? They want you bummy, below, bereaved. Don't alter your crown, girl. You was a queen. The things they do to us king. Come up, get through in the bing, and still we believe. Sectioned off in the project, still we succeed. Left with no options, we ball and we sing. You gotta believe in all of your dreams. The God and the Goddess, the ultimate team. They know that you got it. It's hard to believe. They try but can't stop it. It's all in your genes. Just take all your profits, invest in your seeds. We gotta be each other's help. Protect our women and our legends. Time to focus on our health. It's time we focus on our wealth. And you ain't black if you ain't voting for yourself.
What I'm
Deep.
saying, breaking it out, elevate your game, baby. Every single day of your life, young brother. I appreciate you being on the show. Vid, of course, you already know One Love. I appreciate you being on the show. And if you're listening to a WNBA State of Mind Sunday brunch, all my people out there, thank you for tuning in on the show. We're going to continue to do this. We're going to, during the Black History Month, we're going to continue to uplift Black authors. We're going to come on again. We're going to talk about some more authors. Vid, I'm gonna let you take it out with if with some new books maybe that may be coming out that we're gonna be potentially talking about in the upcoming weeks.
All right, so one that just came out, Mommy, Do I Have to Eat This, which is a children's book. It deals with, again, with parents and kids struggle of eating healthy and fun things, right? And then so Deja Donut Girl is releasing February 26th, which I spoke a little bit about. That's another children's book. Um, it's about a black kid superhero. And then we have a book. It's not titled yet. I think it's going to come out in March, though. Kevin Bates' second book is a poetry book, but he's putting a little soul cooking in it as well. And then in April and May, Lord willing, you have my two books dropping, Vid's Vittles, Part 2, and it's Cold Out Here, You Need Your Coat. Those are the ones dropping. We're gonna have some more, but we just don't have the release dates just yet. But stay tuned.
Yeah, it's funny. That's funny. It's cold out here. I don't have no coat. That's definitely a black book. It's cold out here. I have no coat. That's the name of your book? Yup. So, with that being said, how we do, we keeping it coming. And like I said, you're listening to a WNBA State of Mind Sunday brunch, taking it out with my man, Lamonte Jr. Listen, love having you on the show. We gonna keep it moving. It's only gonna get bigger. Stay tuned. Even to the platform is gonna become bigger. Like I said, once my class is over, it's getting ready to be on. Already been doing some things behind the scene that I haven't been putting out there. But if you like the show, Anchor FM, come on Anchor FM and support the show. 99 cents a month. Love to have you. Google Podcasts, come check us out. Anchor, come check us out. Podcast, come check us out. Apple, come check us out. iTunes, come check us out. Spotify, come check us out. Himalaya, come check us out. Intel, come check us out. I can keep going on podcast. Check us out. Play a pod. Check us out. And it keeps going on and on and on to the break of dawn. I ain't even gonna go back into the old school raps. But bottom line is, I love you, boy. Sammy Sosa in the house.
Out.
One love. All right. And to all of my people out there, please be safe. Keep your mask on while you're out here during the Super Bowl. Did you hear what I said? Let me say that again. I'm going to take my glasses off. Keep your mask on while you're out here during these celebrations. This COVID is real, so stop it. Stop spreading it. And also, we got too many people that are perishing from this virus. Wear your mask. That's all you got to do. Okay? And if you don't have a mask, put on a bandana. Stay strong. Peace out.